And good morning, everybody. It's good to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. I'm very excited to have our first panel come up, which is the Future of India's Smart and Sustainable Infrastructure panel. We have our moderator, Reji Kumar, who's going to be speaking to you today. He's the chairman of the Global Smart Energy Federation. Reji, I'm going to pass the torch to you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all our participants and my co-panelists in this session. Thank you very much for inviting me to moderate this panel. This is a dream panel, experts from three different segments of the utilities: electricity distribution, city gas distribution, water distribution, the real life of citizens is covered in this electricity, water, and gas distribution. So we have the wonderful team of experts from each of these domains to discuss about India's electric grid, water distribution system, city gas distribution, modernization plans, and digitization is assumed more importance post-COVID. So we spend more time, me and Sanjay spend more time on the electricity side. I also chair the India Smart Grid Forum. We have been advocating digitalization in utilities for long. Things have been moving at its own pace, considering that utilities, majority of them in India are owned by government. So it takes its own time. Things where nobody said no, but it were going good. But post-COVID, the pace has really accelerated. The amount of digitalization or the pace of digitalization which we are going to see in next 2 years is going to be in the business as usual scenario would not have completed even by 2030. So what would have happened in 10 years is going to happen in 2 years thanks to COVID. So that was not the trigger ideally the society wanted. All these utilities which were, every work they did with paper. Everything was, they wanted a hard copy of the record. All of them has become paperless organizations in less than 2 to 3 months time. So this has been a great experience. And now we talk to the regulators and utilities that this change, we want to make it stay there and take the journey to further levels of digitalization. And with the digital data, the new tools like artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these tools can be leveraged for further intelligence and insight into optimizing assets and business operations. So we would like to hear from each of these experts on the panel, how much COVID has impacted their operations and how the organization responded. I would like to start with Sanjay Banga, President of Tata Power. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you. Thank you, Reji, and thanks for invitation to share my thoughts on this platform. COVID impacted all distribution utilities, both on the financial front and as well as a commercial front. So when I'm saying first on financial front, it impacted liquidity because our big players who are the commercial consumer and industrial consumer, they suddenly found their industries or commercial establishment shut and no revenue coming to them, so no revenue coming to us from their side. So and in India, the tariff structure is like that the commercial and industrial consumers pay high rate where the domestic consumers are subsidized. So the result of that, we face liquidity issue. I am happy to share Government of India and regulators both helped distribution utility during this time, and in fact they allowed payment of money with minimum penalty. If I see it, the real impact of this on commercial side, then we found that since we cannot do actual billing, and we had our residential consumers not on smart metering, we had to do the average billing, and that average billing was not accurate, and that's related a lot of unhappiness among customers. But when we did actual billing in July month starting, then we addressed all these issues. But first 3 months were really tough in that way, and COVID impact was visible in all distribution utilities, not on total Tata Power operation as such. But I would say, Reji, digitalization, the level of technologies which we have in our systems have really helped us. During this period, as our contract or procurement is completely paperless and we do e-procurement, it has not affected much. Entire network operation, we have a SCADA ADMS system for network control. So any outage in network was attended, and in fact, it was attended in a better way because there was no traffic on road. So the crew was able to reach much earlier in that. However, yes, on the commercial side, as I mentioned, there was impact. I would say that the real impact of COVID will be felt next year because we saw demand dipping around 70%, and as the demand went down by almost 70% for 3-4 months, the revenue impact of that will be felt next year when we will ask for tariff hike because we have not recovered money from consumer. And tariff in India, is highly politically sensitive. So it's going to be tough time for regulators that how they play with the tariff in next financial year. So real impact on distribution sector will be felt, I would say, next year. But presently, we saw in India most of the distribution utilities who don't have much technology deployed face serious problem on revenue collection and then further payment to generators. To that extent, they are badly affected.
That's a new dimension, Sanjay, you brought in. The real impact will be felt next year when the tariff hike will be sought by utilities. This is not going to be just Delhi or Bombay. It will be all around India or most part of the developing countries or even developed countries. So the same question I would like to ask Mr. Tarun Sharma in the Gujarat gas distribution. So how much COVID impacted your operations and how did your organization responded?
Yeah. First of all,
3 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So the impact, as Sanjay has rightly said, we also had an impact of almost 70% dip in the sales because our portfolio includes 70% of industrial customers, and the industries were shut. So there was no consumption at that end. And then our 20% portfolio is mostly on the vehicular, consumption, which is CNG. So that was also impacted because people were not moving around. But on the residential front, we had a hike in the consumption because most of the people were staying inside, and there was no food ordered, and everything was cooked in house. So we felt a bit of hike in there, but that was not sufficient to manage things. So that was till July, but from July onwards, we saw a comeback when industries started opening up. And by mid of August or beginning of September, we were back to our normal sales volumes. So that was on the sales side. And the other impact was on the revenue, which is collection. So whatever sales was happening, whether it is residential or not, we were not able to bill, as Sanjay rightly said, because we were not able to read the meters, and so we had to do some kind of estimation billing. But the issue with estimation billing was also that we were not able to deliver the bills also to the customers. So around 30 to 40% customers which were having right mobile numbers maintained in our system or correct email IDs, we could actually send data to those, and we could collect money from those customers only. So this has actually led to certain activities or certain initiatives to do KYC similar to banks. So utilities also started doing, we started doing KYC so that we have correct contact details of the customer. So that was more or less the impact. The other impact was on our own working, like being a government sector. Only 20% of the employees were actually having laptops. So most of the employees were actually working on desktops, and when it became work from home kind of a scenario, we actually faced a lot of struggle in shifting the desktops to the houses so that people can connect from their house. And there were other issues like few people having infrastructure issues like number of rooms in their house because everybody is in the house now, and things like that. So we have taken some initiative in that front also to have more number of people on laptops, So those kind of initiatives also initiated.
Very good. So now I'll come to Mr. Jana, Indraprastha Gas Limited, which distribute gas in Delhi and the capital of India, and also many other cities. Over to you, Mr. Jana. How much COVID impacted your operations, and how did IGL responded to?
Good evening, everybody, and I hope that everybody is safe and healthy at this situation. And the situation is similar to both electricity and Mr. Tarun, that he is in the similar business. Now, I must tell one thing: when Indian economy was placed journey towards 5 trillion economy, this pandemic took place. And every company like IGL also, we are having a massive investment plan. I know it started, if you see that the lockdown, the way India has implemented probably in the world, such a strictness was not there anywhere else. So the April and May, it was totally under lockdown. During that time, if you see, if I take only my NCR, the capital of India, now around 15,000 kilometer gas pipeline network is there beneath the city, and around 550 CNG stations are there. And we are required to maintain the assets, because gas being a highly flammable substance, and except during lockdown, except essential services, everything was standstill. We are in the essential services. Because of that, we were permitted to travel on the road, and we are supposed to go to the individual houses also. If I see the business part, as both of my colleague was saying that same thing, the business, if you see the domestic and the Delhi, we are giving around more than million houses, kitchens are getting the gas. That time the consumption has gone more than 130%. No, in the pre-COVID situation, if I compare, it has gone more than that, because all the restaurants and the hotels were closed. So people were checking more their food in their kitchen. At the same time, basically, they may be consuming more gas because of something else, but the 30% has gone up. But if I go to the transport sector, where we used to sell around 32 lakhs per day, kg per day CNG, it has come down to at a level of say 20%. It was not very big thing. And the total gas volume, and other two sectors were there: industry, that was totally shut down, and the commercial is also entirely shut down. So it has gone down to at a level of the sale volume has gone down to a level of 20% during the April and May. And June, it was improving. I'm happy to say that today we have reached to a level of more than 95%. So we are happy to say that we bounced back very fast. In the quarter two, we were at 80% level, and now it is running at 93 to 95%. So, and if you see that my PAD, if I see the quarter one, it has gone down to a level of 20%, and the turnover was reduced to by 60%. But I'm happy to say the quarter two, my PBT was 4% higher than the last year PBT quarter two. So that way the things are coming up very fast. I must say one thing. And as regard the project is concerned, as this pandemic situation, it was not at all. It is not a similar type of no pandemic had taken place like this. If it is a tsunami or it is an earthquake, it is known what is to be done. But this is the totally unknown. Nobody can predict what is going to be there in the next 3 months or 2 months, and when we are going to be basically get rid of this particular thing. It is not at all known. So what we are now divided the work. No, this particular thing had changed the entire behavior of the customer. The work profile, if I divide in the 4W, basically one is the work. Now we have to segregate which work can be done from work from home and which cannot be, because we are in the project. Basically every year we are connecting more than 300,000 houses are connected. So around 3 lakh houses are connected every year. So this has to be done at site. So we have to segregate which work can be done from home, and which cannot be done, you have to go to site basically. So the division of this work. Second thing, as you're saying that we have to upgrade also certain employees who are there, they may not be very handy to the computer. So we have to know the different packages. So people, we are creating the work culture, how it can be done from home. And third thing is that the getting the migrant labor, it was a very, very tough job for us. Unless otherwise you get the migrant labor, you cannot carry out the project work basically. So today I can tell you, I'm happy to say that around 4.5 lakhs got connected in India. Houses got connected by this pipeline network, and out of which 1.35 lakhs house got connected from IGL. And today we are per day connecting more than you can say 1,500 houses are getting connected per day. So looking into that, whatever the target is there, I'll be able to achieve by end of this. But the thing is that if you see the top line and the bottom line in the financial part, probably the quarter 4, I'm expecting it can go 10 to 15% more than the what pre-COVID level was there quarter 4. But we won't be able to make up what loss has taken place the quarter 1. So it will be, I can say around 7-10% would be less than the what earlier it was there. The things are moving now, and we are trying to keep up basically so that we can catch up. So the gap is basically less. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. Now we move on to the water sector. I will request Mr. Sewak to talk about, although you don't operate, your organization doesn't operate in any large city, but you are closely working with all the water sector personnel in the country and around the world. So over to you, Mr. Sewak.
First of all, I'm grateful to ISGF for giving us an award a couple of years ago for being smart. And that smartness helped us. I'm happy to report that we are 11% above 2019 in terms of volume, despite our 30% of the complete distribution collapsing, institutional sale. And that was because we were smart. Right since 2010, we are remote monitored. Water is dispensed 24/7 on water ATM, on smart card. And that helped us, in fact, increase the offtake of people coming in. We have, for the others on the panel and listening in, we have 330 safe water stations, of which 140 are in cities and balance are in rural, distributed. And they are all operated smartly. And hence we could manage all of them with 98% plus availability, and volumes went up. However, we could not do the expansion. Last year, we had done 80 new stations. This year, we could hardly do 15 because of the labor availability for the passes, etc. But we were able to serve our 1.2 million customers very, very regularly without any breaks, even during pandemic. In fact, when we were in Hyderabad city, where it was a strict lockdown, and even though we had essential services thing, we automated the whole system in the sense the water used to fill up and automatically take the water from the raw water tank and fill it up. So this has helped us, at least within our industry, do probably among the best performance because of the smart nature of our operation, and almost 90% of our customers having a smart card. All the payments that they used to pay us back in terms of asset recovery fund or a long-term renewable fund, that also we matched along with the volume. So we were able to collect that, and that was also converted from cash to digital to 80%. However, overall, the industry on water sector is not smart. They are much, much behind all of you, because
Absolutely.
Water is not charged, or if it is charged, it's at a very, very minuscule level. And hence, we were also the authors of Har Ghar Jal for the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. And now the ministry is bringing in a smart management program where they can also do the tank farm monitoring and water program monitoring through remote monitoring. And that's what they are now bringing in, this kind of technology to manage this very, very vast network of pipe network. And to meet the SDGs, India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has started putting in 100,000 pipe water connections in each home. And now they are planning to make it functional household tap connection, which means it's not just creating infrastructure. It's like gas pipes, which have to function. And that's what is the mandate. And they are connecting each day over 100,000 households each day. Thank you.
Very, very good. Very good. One thing is clear from all the panelists that yes, whatever digital assets they had have helped them survive the business operations, the business continuity, help through automation and digitalization. I will come back to Mr. Banga. Give us a brief overview of the digitalization TPDDL has done. Also, now you are in charge of Bombay electricity distribution operation as well as Orissa. So there are entirely three, what Delhi, Bombay and the Orissa state, your three utilities are operating at different levels of automation and digitalization. And give us a quick overview of that and what new you have done during this pandemic so that the business continuity could be ensured. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thanks, Reji. So if we specifically talk about digitalization, then we have all operational technologies, the technologies which are related to customer in terms of the billing and the complaint management systems. Those platforms really helped us, whether it's Delhi or it was Mumbai. But what made special was the kind of innovation which came during this period, and we in fact fastened the speed of digitalization. So we came out with a lot of innovative ideas like the WhatsApp reading on our on mobile and sending that reading to our company by consumer. Those kind of things, the different ways of connecting with customer using social media and digital media, those things have come up. But what made us really happy that now the policymakers, that now the regulators have started understanding the importance of technology, that how it is important, and this also in fact gave a good insight that what is the good cost for company and what is the bad cost for company. So the good cost is on the technology, on your resources who can be really made agile and a learned workforce, whereas the bad cost is one you actually spend on the infrastructure part of the building or the admin part of that. So it clearly made us realize that what is the bad cost, what is the good cost, and it helped us to take it to regulators now that we can take up the new projects like smart metering, which we have taken for our key consumers. Can we roll it out for the entire consumer base, knowing more about the consumer and then use the consumer profile data to get more engaged with them. But yes, I'm very sure going forward, this technology piece, which was always be asked more in terms of what is the return on this technology, that will be less of a stress for us to go and explain it to regulators. So we will definitely get benefit of this this period.
Absolutely.
In terms of making it clear to regulators that this is something which is hygiene factor, it should be there in our company.
In India, in electricity, less than 1% of the 250 million electricity customers have smart meters. At least there is a beginning has been done in Delhi, in Bombay, in a couple of smart grid pilot projects, UP, the larger rollout. But when it comes to water, almost non-existent. And in gas also, city gas distribution also, smart meters are not being rolled out yet. So this is an area which is, I believe that in the coming days, if the utilities are serious, they should go to the regulators, and all regulators will give approval. Another reason, even after COVID, people will not be very happy to have the meter reader coming inside the house and reading the meter anymore. So the whole
no, the other part is the good part. Good observation here is, Reji, we got our digital payment moving up from 50% to almost 97%, whether it was Delhi or it was Mumbai. So it's a good that the consumer has started adopting digitalization, and that will really help utilities to connect better with.
I must admit, sir, for some strange reason, we used to make the electricity bill paid by a check. You know, my driver used to go and pay, and we'll run out of check leaves in April, and May onwards we are also paying. After 10
No,
years in the same house, for the first time, we started paying online.
No,
So,
I think this the wallet banks, the Paytm, GPay, and all those variety of payment gateways which we used in our technology landscape has really helped us a lot.
Those things are yet to be done by water distribution people all across the country. And I'll now jump to Mr. Jana. Someone told me that you have some innovation for the meter reading. Customer take the meter reading themselves, and then they generate a bill and make the payment. Some solution like that was successfully done for some customers in IGL. Over to you, Mr. Jana.
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. You were saying that smart meter is the gas. No, 2000, rather 5 years back, when I was there as a Gale Gas CEO, Gale Gas, we have implemented in Bangalore city 100% smart meter. So gas is flowing through the smart meter only 5 years back. I know, and entire city is having only smart meter. There is no manual meter. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, that is having one-way communications, but today we need the two-way communications so that the prepaid meters, we say it is a prepaid meter. In IGL, we have already started installing the new projects with this prepaid meter also, and few locations we are going for smart meter also. At the same time, what we have done, you yourself can create the bill yourself. Just you take your mobile through our app and show the meter, and it will take the reading, the digital reading, analog will be converted to digital, and the bill will be automatically generated, and you can pay yourself then and there itself. So the system is there basically. And since it is implemented, could be some technical hitch would be there, but we have already implemented this particular technology for domestic. You know, if I see this way, we have I can segregate in two parts. One is the PNG business, another is the CNG business. The PNG has got three sectors. One is the domestic. Our target is to domestic, then industrial, then commercial. Industrial and commercial, they are 100% digital. The payment has been made through the digital, industrial and commercial. Now the domestic, there was a combination of both. I shouldn't say there was no cash basically, but at the same time, check is considered to be a cash basically. So today, check is considered to be cash. So that also we are trying to conclude online payment should be done. So our target is to have 100% payment for this PNG through digital mode only. And we have achieved more than 98%, 99% payment is coming through that. If I come back to the CNG, CNG, it is very difficult. We tried many things, but we could not achieve 100%. The fact is that the auto rickshaw driver, they are collecting the coin or the changes from the passengers, and what they will do, they have to deposit at your pumping station only. So that way it is very difficult to do them and educate them go, even though we have some scheme with the if you are paying on this thing, some 2%, 5% discount can be given. In spite of that, it is not being encouraged by them. Basically, what they will do with the cash, what they have generated through the collections from the passengers. So that particular sector, still we are trying to do a lot many things on that aspect. And one more thing, what we are trying to see that digital, digitizations. If you are talking about that, I'm having 550 CNG stations, and I'm required to change the pricing also. And it is not possible to go each and every pumping stations and change. And I'm supposed to do on the same time at same day and same time midnight. So it is very difficult. So what we are doing, we are connecting entire network through the SCADA system to a control room. By clicking one particular locations, you can change entire all the CNG station pricing can be changed. So we are trying to connect. So let me we have divided it two part basically. The digitization part is concerned. What is good to have, what is need to have basically. So we are first targeting for need to have, then we can think of going for good to have. So this way we are working. So now we are targeting mainly whatever the essential part is there, that we are digitizing, and our target is to finish within 6 months. So we'll be achieving that. That's a
very good. Excellent. We'll move to the water will come to Mr. Sewak. What has been the, you also mentioned about the digital technologies which you have been leveraging, and what are specify a couple of them, and also tell us about what are your plans for further digitalization.
Yeah. First, all our digitization and remote monitoring was funded by our donor Honeywell, who are themselves a technology leader.
Very good.
Similarly, USAID has funded us for the remote training of government officials on non-revenue water or any automation or digitization effort which they wish to do. So they have given us these funds so that we can digitize. And what have we done in 330 safe water stations, like Mr. Jaina told? We also have a on the air, OTA. So whatever has to be done, changes have to be done on the program, we can do it from centrally in all the 330 stations simultaneously. So first, all the stations, visibility is with us. On the day the lockdown was announced by Prime Minister Modi, our volumes doubled and we could see it the very next day. And also 24/7, we have the complete dispensing ability so that any client who comes at any time, if they are women operator, they don't need to sit there all the while. They can go back home, they can run their homes. Once the water is full, everything is fine, daily tests are done, then the customer can just come and use their smart card and take water. So these were some of the technologies which we used. And all our technicians had tablets and remote connectivity so that they knew if there is anything wrong with the station, whether there is a membrane issue, whether there's a motor issue, whether there is a current issue, what is the voltage there. So basically they could identify the problem, take the spare, and although they had the pass of essential services, but still going and coming these days is very difficult and very, very risky. And especially in Maharashtra, where some of our stations are there, and Telangana. So both these places we could handle through remote visibility, advisory to the operator, do this rather than people going in. And then if they had to go, they went with these spares there and corrected everything in time, even during lockdown.
Excellent. I'll come to Mr. Tarun Sharma. The Gujarat Gas was one of the pioneers, and some 20 years ago, I heard that you implemented ERP and moved on to many automation solutions. So please tell us about what are the new digitalization or automation systems which you are working on. Over to you, Tarun Sharma.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Sanjay has already and Mr. Jaina has also touched upon those things. So we also have customer portals and customer mobile apps. So we have not reached to the stage where he can generate a bill. That is still in the pipeline. But what we have enabled is that he can submit his meter readings. So we are actually generating the bill, and then he is getting informed on the mobile app through notifications. So that far we have reached. And as on the CNG station part, Mr. Jaina has told, we too are in the process of connecting almost 400 CNG stations through a control room, and almost 60 stations we have done where we are able to change the pricing from one place. The rest are being connected. So so we are more or less on the same lines, being the same business. And on the maintenance part also, we have mobile apps for the technicians as well. And no paperwork is required. So all field work is getting completed and updated in the backend ERP system. So that kind of mobile apps are also there. And apart from that, CNG station monitoring also, we are trying that, the compressors, the dispenser, all their data is actually connected at a central place. So physical monitoring or physical supervision can be reduced. So so those are the lines we are working on. And for the mobile, for the payment side, we are not so fortunate to have 70%, 80% payment through online mode. We being serving rural areas as well, because cities are out of almost 15 lakh customers, we have only 5 to 6 lakh customers which are in the urban area. So majority of them are in the rural area. So online payment is still a challenge for us. But we have tied up with e-grams and things like that. So for us it becomes online only, whereas the modality is through e-grams and all that. So those are the initiatives that is there. So mostly it will be IT/OT integration, which will be taking front seat, and other areas like mobile application we have enhanced. So certain processes like if a customer want to disconnect the the connection temporarily, he can actually request through mobile app. So such functionalities are also enabled, so that he need not visit the office at all. So that's the target, that it should be a contactless customer service.
Thank you. So we are left with approximately 10 minutes. So we'll give 2 minutes to each one of you to talk about what are some of the new projects. What has this pandemic taught, and what are your priorities set for some of the new innovation and technology interventions, or for your one office automation, customer engagement, as well as network automation. So again, I'll start with Sanjay and come to gas and to water. Over to you, Sanjay.
So Reji, one project which we have taken very aggressively, both in Delhi, Mumbai, and now started in Odisha also, that all our consumer which are above certain threshold level of 500 unit plus should be on smart metering. And we also plan, once we have this data, then go ahead immediately with big data analytics and giving consumer a very unique experience, because we clearly understand every customer is different and he need a different kind of experience altogether. The other part which we are trying to do more on the decentralized generation part. So where we are trying to include battery storage in our platform on the distribution side, where we can have a battery storage system. The recent Mumbai outage, which you have seen, again has reminded us that we should have more and more battery storage system and the island generation, which will help us. Further going, we're trying that how we can give unique customer experience by involving AI and ML. That's another thing, and a few projects which we are trying on the blockchain for peer-to-peer trading in Delhi, and doing some pilot project on that. So these are the kind of technology we really want to take forward, not going for conventional way of doing preventive maintenance, but using data for reliability-centric maintenance on the operation front. So those will be the next level of technology on our best technology, which we'll be implementing in next 3 years.
Very good. Impressive list. Smart metering, AI, ML, and blockchain. Excellent. So over to you, Mr. Jana. What are the IGL plans? What you said was quite impressive, that a customer takes generate their own bill with their mobile and make the payment. So that's something which is, I believe, is a cloud-based solution which can be rolled out in no time almost, whereas smart metering takes years to be completed for millions of people. But anyway, moving away from that, what are the new technology interventions on your agenda for coming year? Mr. Jana?
Yeah. Okay.
We have a connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big challenge, pandemic is one, which has a positive thing also for us. People are, what I used to say, that the domestic connections, which we are basically getting the registration was a big challenge. Now people themselves, they are coming up just because of that, the contactless continuous supply. No. So that's why the changing the cylinder at this stage. So because of that, that is helping us. But the fact is that the new projects, something, if it is some challenges are coming for us, the big challenge is any CGD sector. If you see that, mainly it is coming from the CNG sector, CNG, from the transport sector. Around 75-80% business comes from that. Now BS6 is there. The environment, if you see the environment impact, the BS6 already it is there. So BS6 and the CNG, they are at par. Now top of that, the EVs are also coming. So looking into that, what are the challenges in front of us? How do we overcome? For that, basically, certain things we are doing. Number one, we have started hydrogen CNG. HCNG in Delhi is a new project we have started. Once it is successful, probably this is going to help us a lot. And this is basically both way. It is further, it is giving the environment better than what CNG is giving, number one. Number two, there will be a efficiency improvement. The energy conservation will be less by 3 to 4%, 4 to 5% would be there. So that is that we are trial test we are doing in 1 hour CNG stations. One it is basically through, then probably we'll be going for this thing. Second thing, we are thinking for setting a hydrogen plant also. And if it is possible, then hydrogen driven car or buses can be also brought into the India. And we are also parallelly working that to have our CNG station wherever we do have battery swapping also we are thinking, so we are targeting aggressively. And one more thing is that the CBG government is trying to do this thing. There's a complete, you can see the environment point of view, the waste to energy. So that also we are working aggressively, probably 2-3 plants by next March we'll be able to commission. Then the CBG can be, CBG, the compressed biogas can be injected to the network through which you can supply to various customer also. And the lastly, what we are working for now, the long haul transportation is depending on diesel. That can be replaced by LNG. So LNG business also we are focusing very aggressively. I know, and the fact is that LNG has to be there. You know what is happening if you see the environment. The government has set a target from current level of 6% in the energy mix of gas. If it to be taken to the 15%, if it is required to be done, then what are the areas basically today? If you see that the oil is occupying around 30% and coal is 55%, these two has to go down so as the gas will come up. No, and renewable
Very
energy
good.
45%
You mentioned about hydrogen. Hydrogen is everywhere in the last 1 year, particularly after the pandemic. We hear a lot about hydrogen, that too, gray hydrogen, blue hydrogen, green hydrogen, violet hydrogen, all kind of hydrogen is very much in the news. We understand that petroleum sector is working.
Presently, we are working with the HCNG, that is the gray hydrogen basically, and we are talking about the green hydrogen, completely environment friendly hydrogen would be there. Now, what I was
Thank you,
talking
sir.
about
We'll
that,
move to the water now. We have left with 2 minutes. To you, Mr. Sewak, what are the new things on your anvil for next year?
So I'm
1
trying
minute,
to
please.
develop something for the overhead tanks, like each state, like Telangana has 76,000 overhead tanks. So can we do online chlorination and monitoring? That's one.
Okay.
And different management level automatic dashboards using cloud-based and business analytics. Thank you.
Very good. So some of the good things which has been done, particularly in automation and digitalization at Safe Water Network, this need to be taught to the municipalities which are maintaining the water network in most part of the country. This is a message which we need to take it across the country. And how
Yes,
you responded helped your operations during the pandemic. Coming to Gujarat Gas, to you, Mr. Tarun Sharma, what are the new things on your anvil for 2021?
Yeah, so few things Mr. Jaina has already covered, like LNG, which is a must now. Apart from that, on the digital side, what we are doing is we are actually getting into digital marketing now. So we have started using Facebook and other social medias to attract the customers. So we are having new areas like Amritsar, Punjab, Haryana, where we have got in the recent round. So those areas we could not market because of the pandemic. So we actually started doing digital marketing. So we are targeting the customers by the city and all those things. So that is one thing. And apart from that, then we are also providing some kind of a data analytics on the mobile app for the industrial customer or for residential also, so they can do some kind of trend analysis and can help decide their future demands. So otherwise most of the areas has covered. So RPA,
very good,
all those things we are actually doing.
So to conclude, I would recommend to all three utilities, electricity, water, and gas, that currently in India, you are giving connections to the building owners, not to the tenant. Now with mobile, Aadhaar, all digital identities available, it's high time you should change the rules within the utility and give connection to the tenant or the actual occupant of the building or the flat, so that you know exactly who is going to pay your bill. Number one. Number two, with increasing levels of digitalization, cybersecurity is becoming a major concern. So need to invest into cybersecurity. There are systems and solutions available. Need to look into that area more seriously. And for the past couple of years, ISG have been trying to bring all electricity, gas, water, all utilities onto one platform. The customer is saying, I don't want 3 different bills. I can pay in one bill. My electricity bill, gas bill, water bill, all can be. And by and large, electricity distribution companies have digital payment platform in more than 1,400 towns in India. So that can be immediately extended to same with the customer care center or the call center. More than 1,400 towns, and we have a 4-digit number, 1912, all across India, same number for customer care center. This can be immediately extended to city gas distribution, to water distribution, and other municipal services. This is something which ISGF has been advocating for past couple of years, and at least in this pandemic time, these lessons which we learned to take advantage of the digital assets, and which appreciate unless your physical assets. So we will be happy to bring all of you to our platform. We do events. Very recently, we completed the distribution utility meet in November. And our next event will be in March, again going to be on a digital platform. Please come together and see how best you can. And in this combined billing for electricity and gas, I'm happy to say that with our intervention, TPDDL, Tata Power Delhi Distribution, and Indraprastha Gas, they started a pilot project in some colonies in the northern part of Delhi. They are doing a combined billing. The regulators are also today listening to it. This is the right time to take such drastic measures and move forward as one integrated digital utility systems for the customers at least. Thank you very much. We are overshot by 2 minutes. Back to our host.
Hi.
And we thank all the participants from around the world.
Thank you,
Reji.
And my panelists.
This
Thank
was
you.
a fantastic panel. Thank you so much. This was really engaging conversation. I know that we had some really good questions that came as a result. We really appreciate you kicking off day 2 of the WE3 Summit here. And thank you for closing out your evenings with us, gentlemen. Everybody else, we're going to have the Water Wars Fireside Chat coming up here in a few minutes. So please be sure to hop on at 9:30 for that. With that, gentlemen, thank you so much. Have a great evening. Everybody else, we'll see you around later today.
Thank you.